sacrifices and invest money based on where you want to be 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 20 years from now, it will be transformational. All you care about is what's going to happen next month. If that is you, I don't care if you're male or female, you have the spirit of Esau on you and you're going to be broke the rest of your life. And it's your fault because your mindset is about surviving and not thriving. So we understand how currency works. Currency is meant to flow. The $20 I spent was transferred to Mensa Oldaville, but in exchange for $20, the book was transformational because it was called Buy the Future. And I learned through this book, I was broke because every decision I made was based on now. And I never made decisions based on the future. Now, I'm gonna break the book down in a moment, but I want you to understand, if every decision you're making about money right now is based on today's economy, you're gonna always be broke. But if you are willing to make some sacrifices and invest money based on where you want to be 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 20 years from now, it will be transformational. And the biggest thing I learned about that book is how to spend money. First of all, it's a currency. We already broke that down. But second of all, if you have a vision of where you want to be in 5 years, don't you ever spend a dime that won't position you to where you want to be in 5 years. And I made a simple sacrifice. Before I spent any money based on the book Buy the Future, I would ask myself the question, is this going to bless me 5 years from now? Is this going to bless me 10 years from now? If the answer was no, I didn't spend the money. But if the answer was yes, I spent the money because I know I was positioning myself for the future. Let me break down the book. Buy the Future was about an exchange between two brothers. It was a two brothers called Jacob and Esau. They came from the same house. They had the same parents, but they thought totally different. You might have a sibling that thinks totally different from you. You might be a mom with two kids and they're totally different. That's normal. Jacob and Esau were two brothers, same mom and dad, but they were totally different based on their mentality and how they thought. So one day Esau goes out hunting. He was hunting in the moment because he wanted to kill something in the moment, come home and cook it right away, which means he did not plan. The Bible says a wise man plans. Esau was trying to live day to day. And this one day he goes hunting and he didn't make a kill. So he came back hungry, which means he had nothing planned, nothing saved. If he was a hunter, he killed something in the past, but he had no strategy for the future. Esau was living day to day, check to check. Let me be clear, there's still an Esau out there. In fact, Esau, you might be listening to me right now because you know that I'm telling you the truth, that you've been living day to day, check to check. All you care about is what's going to happen next month. If that is you, I don't care if you're male or female, you have the spirit of Esau on you and you're going to be broke the rest of your life. And it's your fault because your mindset is about surviving and not thriving. Surviving and not thriving. Let me be clear. God gave us a mindset and we're either going to use our mindset to survive or we're going to use our mindset to thrive. I can prove it to you. Go home and look at your thermostat. Wherever your thermostat is set right now, your heating and cooling system is going to be regulated by what? Your thermostat. Some of y'all like it cold. It's on 68 degrees. I promise you, you can go out of town. When you come back in town, where's your temperature going to be set in your apartment, in your house? 68 degrees. Guess who set the thermostat? You. That's how you like it. You like it 68 degrees. You come to my house, my thermostat in our house is set on 75. You can talk about us, you can criticize us, but guess what? This is my house. Me and my wife pay the bills. We've made a decision that our thermostat's gonna be on 75 degrees. And so if you come into my house right now, I'm not even home, but if you walk into my home, I promise you that thermostat's gonna be at 75. You can talk about me if you want to, but that thermostat's gonna be regulated based on where I set it. So I don't care if you like it cold, I don't care if you like it hot, wherever you live, you set your thermostat where you're comfortable. Do you hear what I'm saying? Your mindset is the same exact way. Your mindset is regulating your relationships. Your mindset is regulating your faith. Your mindset is regulating your blessings. Your mindset is regulating everything. Here's what I'm going to tell you right now. Write this down. If you want to be a millionaire, you got to have a millionaire mindset. And after I went to church that day and heard from Mensa Oldaville, stand up, Ghana, you should be proud of him, man. Stand up, Ghana. I want to come to Ghana one day. Stand up, Ghana. Be proud of Mr. Oldbill, because all the way in Minneapolis, Minnesota for $20, Mr. Oldbill changed my life, and I read the book By the Future. So Esau goes hunting. He comes back and doesn't make a kill. And so Esau was hungry. He was starving. He was emotional. He was famished. The old saying is never go to a grocery store hungry. Why? Because if you go to a grocery store hungry, you're going to buy way more food than you wanted to buy. Why? Because psychologically, you were starving. So as a result, you go to the grocery store, spend all your money. I've been told that you should go eat a big meal and then go to the grocery store. Because psychologically, since you're not starving, you're only going to buy exactly what you need. So Esau comes home, and he's the oldest. Tuck that away. Back in biblical times, the oldest son got all the blessings. The oldest son was the legacy child. Everything went to the oldest. I'm the baby in my family. Man, let me tell you something. I understand how that works. Sometimes they don't even tell the baby what's happening. Sometimes they don't even tell the baby what's going on. Sometimes the baby has no clue around family secrets. Why? Because you're the youngest. But the oldest know everything. The oldest know where the money is. The oldest knows where the secrets are. The oldest is in a different position because that's typically where the legacy is passed to the oldest. So Esau was the oldest child, but he did not value being the oldest. Jacob, his brother, was strategic. Jacob, his brother, was a planner. Jacob, his brother, was in the kitchen cooking, which means he was a mama's boy. I don't want to break that down, but Jacob was a mama's boy in the kitchen cooking. Don't you criticize him, because I love to cook, boy. I can get some barbecue, some brisket. You come to my house, we gonna eat good. So don't look at me like that. But Jacob was a mama's boy, and I'm a mama's boy. It's all good. And he was cooking. And his brother came in there hungry and said, hey man, can I have some stew? And Jacob began to negotiate. He says, okay, I got some stew and I see you're desperate. I got some stew, I see you're hungry. In other words, I got some money and you need what I got. See, banks loan us money because they see you hungry and you need what a bank has. And you can't go in there robbing the bank, they won't work. You're gonna go stick them up. That's silly, because you ain't gonna get much money anyway. And before you get around the corner, they're gonna arrest your butt. But some people have the wise idea that I'm gonna go rob a bank. Man, this ain't Robin Hood. This ain't the long range of days. That stuff don't work. But the banks understand that people need money. Private investment banks understand people need money. If you're going to run a business, guess what? You need some money. And the worst thing you can do is need some money when you're desperate. Probably, if you are desperate, the last thing you need is some money. Because when you're desperate and you go get some money, you're going to sign some bad deals. You're going to have some incredible interest rates. You're going to put yourself in a bad space if you go looking for money and you're desperate. Don't you stop being thirsty. Thirsty people make bad decisions. Thirsty people make mistakes. Esau came in from hunting since he was not a planner. Since he was living day to day, he had no strategy. And Jacob negotiated Esau out of his future. He says, I'll give you a bowl of stew for your birthright. And Esau says, well, what good is my birthright if I'm going to die? One, Esau didn't respect his birthright. And Esau had no vision for the future. He was living day to day. He was living check to check. As I read that book called By the Future by Mr. Oldbill, instantly I realized I'm broke because I think like Esau. Now I ain't going to get in your business. I'm not going to get in your Kool-Aid. I'm talking about me. That book was transformational before I finished reading the book, because I recognized that I'm broke because I'm thinking like Esau, day to day, check to check, no plan for the future. And Jacob negotiated with Esau and simply said, in exchange for a bowl of stew, give me your birthright. Now, let me break that down a little further. Jacob was willing to be uncomfortable for a little bit. Now, we eat, how soon do you get hungry after you eat? About 4 hours later. Think about that. Esau was so famished, he couldn't wait 4 hours. I'm sure mama was coming home, dad was coming home. He can go over his girlfriend's house. He can go around the corner to his cousin's house. He can hop on a camel and ride through the desert and go catch her. He could have done something, because 4 hours later, you're going to be hungry again. So it was silly of Esau to negotiate away his birthright that would bless him the rest of his life for 4 hours of satisfaction. But that's what day to day does. We go and make bad decisions for temporary solutions that puts us in a worse position than where we were. So Esau said, sure, what good is my birthright if I'm going to die of hunger anyway? So in exchange for a bowl of stew, Esau gave up his birthright. And Jacob sacrificed one meal to change his life. So it's okay to be broke, but it's not okay to be poor. It's okay to be broke, but it's not okay to be poor. Let me explain the difference. Poor is a current, and it's a condition that you don't even see your way out of. We meet poor people all the time. In fact, Jesus said there's always going to be poor amongst you because he understands everybody don't have the right mindset. He says, I came so you can have life and life more abundantly, but I understand a lot of people are not going to abide in me and I'm not going to abide in them. So as a result, they're going to be poor because they won't allow me to influence their mindset. Let me tell you something, Jesus, come and influence my mindset. It happened that day. Jason, Mr. Odell with one book. One message changed my mindset because I want to be transformed because no one will pour new wine into an old wineskin. Give me some new wine, God. Give me some new wine, God. I sat there that day and for $20 of currency, I was put in a position to be transformed. And let me tell you something. I repented for being Esau. And I realized I got to start thinking like Jacob because Esau is getting me what I get. Esau had Visa calling me every day. Esau's spirit on me had me listening to creditors, and I was broke. But the moment I finished that book, I was transformed into Jacob, and I started making every decision based on the future. Every decision you make, ask yourself a simple question. Is this going to bless me 5 years from now? Is this going to bless me 10 years from now? The most important thing you can do to prosper is to discover your gift. What is God giving you to work with? There's some skill, there's some talent, there's some ability that God has given you that you can use to prosper. So if you want to be a millionaire, the first thing you have to do is to discover your gift.